Good morning and welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to be going over how I like to set up my Livescope to find fish out here on the ice. We're going to be going for crappies and bluegills. And first of all, the most important thing to have is coffee, because you're going to be drilling a lot of holes and you're going to be moving around a lot. So with that, drilling a lot of holes, you're going to need a nice auger. You can get a gas auger or one of these drill augers. Today we're fishing on about 7 inches of black ice, and my drill can probably go through 120 holes-ish with one battery, and I have the bigger, thicker battery. So next thing is I leave everything in the jet sled when I'm going out there to search for fish, because it's just much more mobile. I leave it in the back of the sled, so I pull the sled going forwards, and I leave the Livescope with a little space right here so that I can stick my pole down right there, walk to the next spot, drill, stick the pole down, check it, and then just keep moving. The faster you can move, the more ice you can cover, and the faster you're going to find your fish. So let's get at it, and I'll show you exactly how I do it, and I'm sure we're going to find some fish here soon. So first of all, I'd like to go over how I like to set up my Livescope when I'm looking for fish. The first thing I do is I set my forward range at 80 foot. I'll typically just leave it at 80 foot unless there's a mark that might be closer to me that I want to zoom in on, and then it's just simply turning my dial knob down to wherever that fish is at to get a better look at what's going on. But when I'm just drilling, spinning, I'll just leave it at 80 foot. My gain, I like to leave around 70. I'll turn it up as far as 75. I know that's kind of a high gain, but at a far distance, if your gain's a little higher, you can pick up those fish a little bit better, even though you're going to have a lot of blurriness in the water column. I will go down as far as 60 on my gain, depending on what depth I'm in. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it at 70 right now. And then depth range, I do not leave on auto. I put my depth range on manual. Today we're going to be probably anywhere between 10 and 40 foot. So we'll adjust that right away when we drill a hole and see what depth we're in. We're going to go to menu. We're going to go to sonar setup. We're going to go to appearance. The color scheme I like to use is amber. The color gain right now I have on 100%. We're going to drop that down to 75%. The next thing we're going to do is turn the noise reject to low. Ghost reject off. TVG we're going to leave on off for now. If we get into any water deeper than 10 foot, we'll take that TVG, turn it to low. And if we get down to like 30 to 40 foot, we might even go to TVG medium. I never turn it on high. Now let's click on overlay data. The sonar overlay, that is just going to show you what you can see on the left hand side of your screen. I like to see the depth. I don't need to see the water temp. The water temp is freezing. Unit voltage, I like to see where my voltage is at throughout the day. Speed, I don't have on. I don't care how fast I'm walking. That's typically pretty slow because I got short little legs. And time of day I like to see, just because I don't like losing track of what time it is. We'll go down to installation. Install depths 1 foot. Use AHRS. I leave that on. Calibrate compass. I already calibrated my compass, but that's something you want to do pretty often. I do it maybe once a week. We're going to go ahead and take that orientation. We're going to stick it on forward and force it to stay forward. That way, when I put the transducer down in the sled and it turns sideways, it's not constantly jumping back and forth. The focus, you're going to leave the focus on auto fresh and do not restore back to defaults. And that's how I set mine up when I'm going to look for fish. Alright, let's go ahead and get at it. Okay, here we go. We're about to drill our first hole. I like to do it about 1.5 feet off the back of the sled. Just like that. We'll take our transducer, drop it down, and we are in 5 foot of water with a drop off straight ahead of us, out 70 foot. It looks like it's 12 foot deep. We're gonna go ahead and spin this real quick. And by spin this, I mean grab this top piece here and spin it around 360 and look for some fish. So I don't see any fish within 80 foot of us. So I set this back in here, grab my rope, take off. I'll move about 80 foot, drill another hole, check it again. Okay, there's already a hole here at about, I'm gonna call it 50 foot. We'll just drop down, check it real quick. Okay, we got a fish at 50 foot out right now. Another fish at 20 foot. A whole school of fish right there from 35 foot to 60 foot. Those are small marks. Those are probably perch. They're 14 foot deep. I'm gonna spin it, look for anything bigger. There's some weeds right there. More weeds where it gets shallow, and then where we came from, there's a weed heading back where we came from. So let's find those fish. Those fish are, right now, they're 45 foot straight that way. So we'll go 45 foot, we'll drill a hole and see if we're on them. So we move 45 foot, we drill the hole, we got one fish straight below us right now. We'll set our depth, and now I'm gonna zoom in. So that fish is swimming away from us. He's 10 foot away. There's the school of fish right there. So they moved over a little bit, but now they're only 20 foot away from us, heading in that direction. There's one right below us right now. I'm gonna drop down and see what these fish are. They're all below us. I'm leaving it in forward mode. There's so many fish down there right now. Look at them coming up for it. Didn't hit it. Didn't hit it. On it. They're not biting. They're coming up for it like they're active though. These don't look like very big marks. Look at those fish swimming away. One of them's gonna bite. There's too many fish to not catch one. Look at him come off the bottom for it too. Here, fishy, fishy. Here, fishy. Bunch of fish swimming away. they're right on it, but they are not very big fish. In 15 foot of water with my gain, with the settings that I have in 15 foot of water, these marks should be much bigger. Ooh, got bit. He barely touched it though. He's gonna come back. Oh yeah, here he comes. And he's back on it. Boom, got him. Here, fishy, fishy. Oh, he's fighting pretty good. Oh, we're on a school bass. Not what we're going for. Okay, it's definitely not target species. We're gonna zoom back out, look around, find some sort of different school of fish. So, set our range back to 80. There's that school. There's no way that's all bass there. There's one fish by itself that way. I don't like fishing for single fish. So we're gonna drill back on that school, and I guarantee you there's no way that's all bass. So 60 foot straight that way. Hole drilled, dropping down. Yeah, they're pretty much running from us right now. There's one thing that fish do not like is jet sleds being dragged across the top of the ice. That noise, for some reason, drives them crazy, and they will swim away from it. So I know this is what I have for when I'm searching for fish, but typically when I find these schools of fish, I'll take my Livescope out of my jet sled, carry it over, drill a hole, and fish on them like that. Fish do not like the noise of your drilling through the ice, but worse than that is your jet sled being dragged across the top. So 20 foot that way is right where we were just at. So they swam over here, we drug the sled over here, and they turned back around, swam straight back to where they came from. So we're just gonna go jig back in the hole we already drilled. We'll see if they're there. Dropping down. I'm gonna leave it decently high. Try and get it to where they can see it. We got one fish coming in from behind. A couple fish coming in from behind. That one decided to leave. And here we go. This one's looking pretty active. And he said no. He's look a lot like perch to me. Here he comes. Nope. Didn't even come all the way up for it. He's heading over to the school. So I'm reeling up on these. As you can see right here, you can chase these fish around all day, but some fish, for some reason, just do not want to be chased. They don't want to bite, and that's just what it is. When you use a Livescope, you have to learn when to give up on a school of fish. So this school, I'm gonna give up on. I guarantee you, it's a big school of small perch, and 16 foot deep. It could be bluegills. The marks are just not big enough with the settings that I have. So gonna take a little drink of coffee. We're gonna get on the move again. We're gonna go, by the looks of the depths, it's deeper that way, and I want to go deeper, so we're gonna go 80 foot in that direction. Outdoor it looks like it's 20 foot deep. Drill a hole and go from there. So we've gone about 100 foot. We're gonna drill a hole. Drop down. Now we can't see bottom because it's deeper, so we'll switch to our depth range, drop it down, and out there 70 foot forward is some fish suspended off bottom. Those are most likely crappie. See how high they are? Oh, look at that school of fish. So that right there is going to be a nice school of crappies. Possibly there's another school that way, 60 foot that direction. A few singles here and there. There's a couple fish about 5 foot away. Nothing, nothing. That school, other school. Smaller group of fish. And another school over there. So now when you get in this situation, it's kind of a gamble. You gotta choose which school has the biggest marks and chase one. So we'll look at the size of them ones. They're moving, so if they're already moving and they're not sitting still, they're probably going to be another school of fish that we chase around and can't catch. There's that school out there, big school, way a little bit deeper water, suspended way off the bottom. They're further out, and they're not quite as bright of marks as these ones, but at a further distance you're not going to get as good of a return. We got, oh God, we got a nice big one below us. We'll drop down on that. We'll see what comes of this. Oh, here we go. He sees it. He's coming for it. That's a giant mark. This is going to be a bigger fish. And I think we just got denied just like that. Oops. Wrong zoom. Spin this around, find that fish. Yep, that fish is 8 foot away already. So that was a nice mark. That'd have been pretty cool. Got another one coming to us. And no, not gonna happen. So we'll go back out to 80 foot. We had one school over this direction, right there. So they've moved away from us a little bit. Way high off the bottom. Then we had another school there that's moving a little bit now. They're separating. And then we had that nice tight school that's kind of getting close to that one. I'm just going to go for one of these two schools. They're coming together, and the chances of catching one is greater than chasing the one school that direction. So aim it there. We'll go 60 foot in that direction there. All right, pretty rough guess at 60 foot. and we got fish everywhere. Take a jig. I'm gonna take our distance, zoom in on them. So right now would also be a good time to switch it over to down view, but you can jig with forward view, it's just not as good. So we're dropping down, and we already have fish coming up off the bottom for them. I can see those little dots. Oh yeah, here we go. It's about to happen. Ooh, I just got nailed and missed him. Look at that fish coming from way off to the right side. And he made it. Oh man, hard to get a hook in him. Drop down here for one of those bigger marks. Oh, look at that one flying up. Flying up, flying up. And he paused. Decided to say nope. Another one flying up. Hit it. Oh, wow. Unbelievable. Guess I'm about to try a little harder. Look at all these fish. Bet you we took that waxworm. Guarantee it. They're all swimming away from it. I'm gonna try to drop down to their level a little bit. Here we go. Got one. And it's a little dink bluegill. So if these big marks are this size bluegill, then the other marks we were chasing earlier were tiny, tiny fish. Look how high these bluegills came off the bottom too. Let's get back down there. Already had one on. Didn't even know it. Look at that other school of fish coming from the right hand side. Sneaking back over. It's another small one. Where I'm looking right now, 45 foot that way, those are probably going to be my crappies. I can't say that they're bigger marks. They all look small still. So that's how I go about using the Livescope to find schools of fish. I don't necessarily use it like that to try and catch them. It just worked out that these fish didn't swim away when I drilled on them and drug the sled over on top of them. It's a pretty good system. Once you find them once, typically they're almost always back in them same spots. So that's my setup. Hopefully you learned something from this. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I'm going to try to get on a couple of these bigger fish.